Oh, to travel to a destination few others have been to, an extreme expedition. Well, we're beginning here by flashing back to some of my more extreme expeditions. Papua New Guinea, Western Papua New Guinea, naked villages and self-confessed cannibals. Anthropologists believe the people of the remote jungles of Irian Jaya are the most primitive in the world. Cannibalism, headhunting and ritualised warfare have been widely practiced. As we discover in an extraordinary month-long expedition right across this country, the Stone Age is still very much a way of life today. From inside one of the thatched huts, the mummified body of a former chief is carefully carried out. Pretty grotesque, huh?
350 to 400 years old.
How have they dated that?
Just by the battles and events that occurred. That's why there's a bit of a difference. They're not exactly sure, but it's at least 350 years old.
The face looks extremely grotesque. I'd like to have a closer look at it, actually.
The fingernails and hair kept growing for some time after death as well. You can see one particular fingernail is extremely long and another one over here. And the way they smoke them is they put them up in the rafters of the house after basically disemboweling the body. They leave the brain intact, but they put the body up in the rafters in the house and they smoke it maybe over a period of 20 or 30 years.
Back on the trail, it's time to take in the stunning scenery of the Balium as we climb even higher. All along this track, we have to deal with obstacles that some of us handle better than others.
Lost my shoe and all.
In the highly sexist and segregated world of the Danis, the role of the men is to build and protect, while the women toil in the fields, cultivating crops like sweet potato. They know all the names of the 70 different varieties. Shy as the women are, Line Duke agrees to meet us. Line Duke has no idea of when she was born, no records are kept of births, but she does know how many of her relatives have died. Because every time there's been a death in the family, Line Duke has sacrificed one of her fingers, a widely practiced Dani ritual that has left her with only one finger. During her period of mourning, she even sliced off part of her ear.
To lose part of their ear as well.
With mothers spending their days at work, the children have no option but to come along for the ride. Just as the women work hard, the men, still maintaining their role as the protectors, watch on, amusing themselves with an instrument carved out of bamboo and known as a Jew's harp. Well, what about The Middleton Reef, way out there in the Pacific Ocean. Well, so many ships have run aground there. All right, well, you're up there, we're down there. The currents certainly are very strong. I don't think I've ever had to work so hard to keep in one place, but certainly this wreck is quite intact. The stern particular is just sitting upright there, and the whole formation of the boat's still well in place.
Yeah, well, it's an amazing discovery, isn't it? When you think of what would have happened to the people who were on it. And nobody knows anything about them. There's no story. No one knew when it was wrecked or what happened to the crew, as with so many of them.
So this, I mean, you can hypothesise and say this ship could have come aground, hit the reef here, sunk. Some of them could have survived and come up top and survived for several days until finally they succumbed to starvation.
Thirst, exposure, or drowned.
These days, the mystery longliner is home to a wide range of tropical fish. There's no sign that the ship has been salvaged, with plenty of evidence it sank reasonably recently. The beer bottles are certainly in good shape. With such strong currents, I'm surprised the bottles hadn't shifted or been smashed. What is missing is the original contents. The beer has been replaced by sand. And what about the tile deck? Again, I note there's no significant layer of sand on them, possibly kept clear by the strong currents. Back on the surface, our inflatable is taking me over to the wreck of the Runic. I've timed our landing for the low tide, but even so, I still need to wade in water that comes well up my legs. Imagine how it was for survivors of the Runic shipwreck back in 1961. This meat carrier was on its maiden voyage from Brisbane, travelling to Auckland when it ran higher ground here on the Middleton Reef. Now, the survivors would have had to contend with this water. Already, it's dead low tide and the water's up to my knees. Much of the hull of the refrigerated freighter still stands tall, 50 years after it slammed into the reef. Survivors tell of how the ship ran off course after heavy cloud blocked sightings of the sun while the Runic was en route to Auckland to collect apples and lamb. It ran up onto the reef in the dead of night, around 1 a.m, throwing men from their bunks. Within 3 days, rescue ships had arrived and transferred most of the passengers and crew. A severe tropical storm then blew the ship side on and pushed it another 10 metres onto the reef. Efforts to tow it off the reef were abandoned when a cyclone warning was issued. The Runic was abandoned several weeks later and has since been broken down slowly by the elements. Well, how's this? Less than 40 years after the Runic here ran aground, this ship, the Monterey Frontier, ran aground in very heavy weather, only 200 metres from the Runic. The wreckage of the Runic, like this boiler, lie ever so close to the Monterey Frontier, a Japanese tuna boat which ran aground in high seas just over 12 years ago. It lays on its side on the reef, taking a constant battering from high seas and strong winds, and yet refusing to break apart. Our next expedition, one of our most memorable. We're travelling deep into the sub-Antarctic, the island of South Georgia, the island at the end of the world, and we're following in the wake of the famous Irish explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton. Here we are, attempting to follow one of Shackleton's expeditions. It's been likened to a slice of the Alps stuck straight into the ocean. An island of phenomenal beauty, where glorious snow-clad mountains rise abruptly from the sea. And where some of the densest concentrations of wildlife found anywhere in the world crowd its shores. Where huge colonies of king penguins mix freely with wandering albatross and giant elephant seals. It's remote, so much so that it takes 5 days to sail here from the nearest continent. And it's so isolated that only a handful of people live here all year round. It's the sub-Antarctic island of South Georgia, located just about as far south as you can sail before hitting the Antarctic. And its history is inextricably linked to just one man, Sir Ernest Shackleton. It's from South Georgia that he set sail on one of the most ambitious expeditions of all times, to cross the Antarctic via the South Pole. And it was back to South Georgia that he sailed in a small lifeboat, the James Caird, after his ship, the Endurance, was sunk and crushed by ice. It was one of history's greatest epics of survival. And it ended with Shackleton successfully crossing this blizzard-lashed wilderness to reach rescue at a whaling station. What follows is a modern-day expedition's attempt to follow in the footsteps of Sir Ernest Shackleton and to experience the stunning scenery and abundant wildlife of an island that sits at the end of the world. Well, one company that's been specialising in expeditions to exotic and remote locations is Heritage Expeditions. Smiling Susan Elliott is investigating.
Australia is a favourite destination for cruise ships, and while we love them, it's the smaller expedition vessels that get into remote places that are becoming increasingly popular. The remote places I've been experiencing include subantarctic Macquarie Island, teeming with wildlife, and the small expedition cruise company I've sailed with is Heritage Expeditions. I've been lucky enough to sail on the Heritage Adventurer to the Antarctic and subantarctic, and my camera barely left my eye. It's a photographer's dream. Today I'm talking in Sydney with Heritage Expeditions' Aaron Russ. It's a special place, isn't it?
It is, yeah. No, very close to my heart. Very close to that's where Heritage kind of started and really evolved and developed from. And
it's south of New Zealand and south of Australia
south of New Zealand and Australia.
So we kind of share it.
We do share it. Yeah, Australia has both Heard Island and Macquarie Island, two remarkable islands, incredibly biologically diverse, and yeah, I think. The rival of anywhere on the planet in terms of biological richness and diversity and just the stories of connection through the surrounding oceans and the islands, the human history that is weaved through that as well.
Macquarie Island is the only place in the world you can see the royal penguin.
Exactly. That's Macquarie's sole place on the planet where Australia's penguin occurs, the royal penguin. There's the Snares, which have its endemic penguin as well. These islands have had, again, a speciation where penguins and albatross have evolved, become unique and developed on these islands. The royals are up in the dunes behind, and then you've got the king penguins
on the shore.
On shore, and and the elephant seals amongst it. I mean, it really is one of those sort of wildlife hotspots of the planet.
Yeah. Do they ever stop rumbling?
I don't think so. Not in my experience.
Head a little further south to the Antarctic shelf itself, and tell me about the expedition you do there.
So we've been heading down to the Ross Sea for over 30 years now. It's what I'd liken to the heart of Antarctica. It's where Scott, Shackleton, Amundsen, they all headed south on their way to the South Pole, because you're able to navigate so much further south than anywhere else on the continent. So we sail down to 77, 78 degrees south, right into the heart of the continent. And I think, there you really get the story of that continental Antarctica, the vastness of the landscape. One of those places on Earth where you're not in control, you're at the beck and whim of Mother Nature, and that's a humbling thing for a lot of people to experience.
Now, Japan's another destination, but it's not one that we necessarily think of as a cruise destination. But they've got thousands of islands.
Exactly. They're an island archipelago. The story of Japan is a story that's intimately connected throughout history with the ocean, with the sea. An island nation, like almost second to none in terms of how water has been the connector that's allowed the culture to evolve and develop. And yeah, what better way to explore it than by sea?
This year is a milestone for Heritage Expeditions, the 40th anniversary.
Well, it's quite remarkable that we've been going and doing what we do for 40 years. It was started by my parents back in the day, and they really, I guess, they started with a passion for sharing, first of all, the story of New Zealand, New Zealanders and the world. So it was the history, then the natural history, which were the kind of the key drivers.
Finally, more Australian territory, the Kimberley.
It's just such a remarkable landscape. We're able to navigate up the rivers by Zodiac and really get away from the ship and into the heart of the wilderness of the Kimberley.
And helicopters too.
And helicopters as well, for good measure, just to give you the completely different perspective on the landscape. And I think really the scale of the landscape is, I mean, Australia is vast, but when you're up in the air and the helicopter above the Kimberley, you really get a sense of that.
Do you see lots of crocs?
Not lots, but they're definitely there. They're definitely part of the story.
There's no snorkelling involved.
There's no snorkelling with the crocs, no. We like our guests to come back at the end of the expedition.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
What a great vibe, what a sensational vibe this town has. This is the town of Berry on the New South Wales far south coast. And great people, great shops, great experiences here in Berry. It may be a relatively small village, but boy does it have style. Many historical buildings and a talented population of 2,500 people, including singer Aria Stone.
Sweet dreams are made of this. Go out and vibe to disagree. We travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody looking for something. Some of them want.
You're busking here in Berry. Why Berry?
Because they'll have me. The community is really wonderful. They're very supportive and they seem to enjoy my music, so...
Well, I'm enjoying your music.
Thank you.
What is it about Berry? How would you summarise Berry?
It's a beautiful, intelligent community. Very caring and very appreciative of music and the arts. Really, really nice, kind, generous people.
looking for something.
Another very local we catch up with today is real estate agent Jackie Crapp. So Jackie, a lovely, lovely vibe here in Berry.
It is. It's an absolutely beautiful place to live. It's just such a lovely area. It doesn't matter whether you're young or old, what it is you love to do. There's something for everybody in Berry.
So you're running the real estate business here, of course?
Yes.
And how's that going?
Yeah, really good. We're coming into our busy time of the year, which is fantastic. And, you know, Berry's very much a destination place. So it's a very vibrant little country town. And as I said, it's got something for everybody.
Jackie leads a team of dynamic agents for the Rain and Horn office in Berry, with regular sessions at their headquarters. And in the lovely homes they introduce buyers to. But it's not just the township of Berry that she promotes. There's beaches nearby. But Jackie, quite a few things to do around Berry.
There's lots to do in Berry. It doesn't matter what you're into, there's always something to do in Berry. We have some of the world's most pristine beaches. And you'll notice today there's not many people around. So often down here you have, you know, a great opportunity to come to the beach and be undisturbed. You know, often where you walk the dogs down here, you'll see people doing Pilates and, you know, that sort of stuff on the beach, or yoga.
Inland, there's lookouts with commanding views. Jackie, truly breathtaking views here.
It is. It's absolutely amazing here, isn't it? It's just stunning. You can see everywhere from Berry all the way down to the southern beaches. You've got Bomaderry, Narra, the Shellhaven River, Coolangatta Mountain. We're here at Camberwarra Lookout at the moment, and it gives you just such a great aspect of the whole south coast.
So what I'm seeing is not only the ocean, the blue sea out there, I'm seeing a lot of greenery.
Oh, absolutely. Our green rolling hills are such a part of what we have here on the south coast. It's just stunning.
Back in Berry, I meet some other personalities like Jules Walsh. She designs and hand paints fashionable clothing. Hello, Jules.
Hello, how are you?
We are told you are a designer of clothes.
Yes.
You've designed this one.
Yes.
And all the ones we see here in the store.
I sure did. I was an illustrator before I got into fashion.
Yeah.
So I've combined my illustration work along with my fashion design skills. And now I make all my own prints and I make all my own patterns.
Then there's Berry's famous donut van, 50 years old and specialising in their cinnamon donuts. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
I've got to try one of your donuts. What are you recommending?
I would recommend the cinnamon donut because it's very popular
And also we have a Nutella if you'd like to try it.
Nutella's good, but I'm going to try the
Of course.
cinnamon. Wow, now we've got 6 of them freshly cooked. I'm going to try one. It's quite hot, quite hot. Here we go.
One berry establishment that has earned a reputation amongst stylists and discerning shoppers is Haven and Space. Owner is Joanne McCarran.
Hi Greg, welcome to Haven and Space.
G'day, Jo. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Let's have a look around.
Yeah, good on you.
Wow. So, Jo, what's your intention here? Wonderful array of household goodies. What are you aiming at?
Our aim is to source homewares at an affordable price for everyone.
Now, sourcing, where are you sourcing?
Asia is our main area we source from.
And you, in fact, are on a plane tomorrow.
Tomorrow, off tomorrow to find some new goodies for the store, which is very exciting.
Jo, there's quite some history here.
Yes, there is. Haven and Space has been here for 25 years.
Yeah.
We started across the road in a little shop and have made our way here. And I've started here 17 years ago, back when I was a 16-year-old, and I'm very passionate about continuing the tradition of affordable homewares.
Jo, wonderful range of goodies you've got here.
Yes, we've got everything from candles, cushions, rugs, furniture, lamps, artwork, anything that you need to decorate your home.
And you must be decorating homes not only here in Berry, but all over Australia.
All over Australia. We ship out to people online and have lots of people visit us in the store.
I think you're enjoying this. You're enjoying running the store.
I love it, absolutely love it. I'm very, very passionate about it, and it's my dream job. I get to come here every day.
Finally, I meet up with a young woman who designs very stylish homes. The first we visit is a magnificent B&B that sleeps 20 guests and even has its own sauna. This is known as the Berry Luxury Barnhouse, with creator Kylie Martin.
Kylie, so you call it the barn house, but this is more than a barn.
It certainly is.
So how many bedrooms?
It's got 5 bedrooms downstairs
Yeah.
and a bunk room upstairs, which sleeps 10.
And in total you accommodate
20 people.
20 people.
Yeah.
What a party you could have here.
Oh, I know. Then they certainly do.
And a magnificent grounds you're set in here. Beautiful greenery all round, the big pool at the back there, barbecues. You've designed this all yourself, have you not?
I have. I had a vision in my head and came together with the work of local draftspeople and builders, and we just made it happen. I grew up in Berry, so I've got a bit of a soft spot for Berry. But I think for people that come to stay here, it's easy 2 hours from Sydney, 2.5, 3 hours from Canberra. So it's a great midway point. So if you've got family in Canberra or Sydney, you can all come together. And it's just an easy weekend away. For me personally, I love that Berry's still got the community feel. You can be so close to the city really, but have that old country town feel, and everyone's so friendly.
Later, Kylie shows me another of her creations, the Berry Luxury Retreat, with 7 big bedrooms.
We're at Berry Luxury Retreat.
Which you've designed.
That's right. This is a renovation project, and it's accommodation that sleeps 20 people.
20, wow.
Yes.
And bedrooms?
This has got 7 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and 3 living spaces.
So not only that, we're seeing spas, we're seeing pools, we're seeing big barbecues down the back
Right.
there. We're seeing a lot of pluses here.
That's right. We've got a fire pit where the kids can toast marshmallows. We've got a nature playground. There's plenty of space for people to break up into and enjoy time alone or time together.
Oh, well, and you've got glorious sunshine, you've got the flowers in bloom.
That's right. Got the heated pool, so people can enjoy the property all year round. The kids can enjoy the pool. The hot tub is always a big hit. It's just a great place for people to come together.
Berry on the south coast of New South Wales, loving the vibe. Off now to Victoria, the Yarra Valley, to visit the area's most famous dairy farm. Victoria's beautiful Yarra Valley. Now, there's a dairy farm here with a long and deep history, the Yarra Valley Dairy Farm. Irene Jones is investigating.
Just a stone's throw hour away from the city of Melbourne. It takes only an hour to get to these incredible rolling hills, beautiful wineries, and some of the best cheese that the country has to offer.
What Irena's standing in front of is the Yarra Valley Dairy Farm's original milking shed. It's 100 years old. 30 years ago, the farm began producing high-quality cheeses, a concept promoted by the dairy's owner, Mary Mooney.
Well, we were a dairy farm when we first came here quite a number of years ago. There were not many wineries around. It was a very country place then, and we had a lot of lovely milk. And I started making cheese in the kitchen. My family loved the cheese there. And then when they grew up and went on to their own careers, I started this dairy here using the milk from the dairy farm here. We still make cheese. We, of course, make a lot of cheese now, pretty much in the same traditional style. And the focus is to maintain that quality and that flavour. Because when we first started making cheese and supplying the good restaurants in Melbourne, people absolutely loved it. And people still love the cheese. They still love the cheese. We just recently won awards. We've won 5 gold awards this year for our Persian feta. And we make other lovely cheese as well.
The other thing I noticed is it really is very artisanal. So you do have your staff, you know, that are making the produce. They're actually making sure they're jarring it and capping it or wrapping it all in-house. It's not machinery.
No, it's not machinery. It's still very much in-house.
The actual cheese-making section of the Yarra Valley Dairy Farm is highly productive. Specialist cheese makers have perfected the taste and texture of their world-renowned cheeses.
So Yarra Valley Dairy has actually been making this Persian feta for over 30 years. The recipe hasn't changed. No. So I know that we're addicted to this in our house. Tell me what goes in. So at the bottom...
Yep, we've got some peppercorns, and then we have a bay leaf.
Just one?
Just one.
Beautiful.
And then we have some fresh thyme, so really nice and beautiful because it's fresh. After that, we're going to put our cheese in, and then we're going to put our oil, which has some garlic oil mixed in there as well.
Incredible. Now, this is your #1 bestseller, right?
Bestseller cheese, been with us for the entirety of the company. It was the first one ever produced, and it really is our company in a jar.
And it's won heaps of awards.
It has. It took out every state this year gold, and nationally as well.
All right, so I'm going to show you how to wrap the white savarine logs. These are goats, pasteurised goat's milk, and then we mature it to grow white mould on the outside. So we start by grabbing and placing it in the middle.
Yeah. Like that?
And then you'll grab the back of the piece of paper.
Yeah.
And then just roll it gently, not too tight. And then you'll grab a piece of tape.
This is what I can't believe. You guys actually do everything back of house here, right? There's no machines rolling it up.
Well, that's what we're known for, is mostly hand products.
Most of the cheeses here are both fresh and soft in style, as dairy manager Shawnee Brach testifies.
There are a lot of beautiful cheeses here. This is one of your best sellers, right?
Yeah, so this is our farmhouse platter. It is one of our most ordered items on our menu, and it has 7 amazing cheeses. Most of them we make on site here, but we do have a few other great Australian cheesemakers that we like to present.
All right, so let's try some. This is the most exciting bit. All right, so where should you start? If you have a cheese platter, is there an order or is it just whatever you fancy?
Look, I'm absolutely happy for you to dive in, but there is a little bit of an order. So our goat's cheese has a smaller fat molecule, so it makes your palate really nice and refreshed and ready for the next flavour. Whereas the cow's, it's going to coat your tongue more and it's going to change what you have afterwards. We also have our classic Persian feta, which has garlic in, so that's going to change what you're eating. Now, before we start the platter, we have to try this toasted sandwich. So this is our 4 cheese madness, which is absolutely delicious.
Oh, that looks amazing. So what 4 cheeses are in here?
Yeah, so we have our Persian feta, of course, and then we have 3 hard cheeses that are made from other great Australian cheesemakers. So from Tasmania, we've got Heidi Gruyere, and then we have from Victoria, Maffra cheddar, and then we also have a mozzarella.
That is amazing.
And so it's back to the cows here in the Yarra Valley. Happy cows, delicious cheese.